Classroom of the Elite Season 2 Episode 2. And just like always with Classroom of the Elite, be it the first or currently second season, every episode has a lot of things packed into it. And this second episode of the second season isn't the exception either, because man, I think there is a lot of things to talk about. I mean, in general, I would describe this second episode as focusing a little bit more in detail about the background story of Karuizawa, which of course this second season will focus a lot on. And we see her interact with a lot of people, mainly with the parent boyfriend, like we learn in the later part of the, or I should say second part of the episode. We also see her interact with the girls of Class C, with the 3 girls of Class C, and yeah, basically having her have an inner dialogue about talking about her past experiences and things of that nature. We also learn a little bit more about the nature, the being of Ayanokouji, our main protagonist. We have here and there a little bit of story of Horikita and Ayanokouji talking about stuff. But yeah, I think I will start this episode by talking about, of course, Karuizawa, the main focus of the second season. In this episode, I would describe it as focusing on what she thinks herself to be as. She basically thinks herself as a parasite. She even says herself in the episode. She thinks apparently that she's some kind of parasite feeding off other people, basically in order to protect herself in a way, because she doesn't want to suffer any more bullying that she has suffered in the first years of her life in elementary and middle school, just like it was described by her apparent boyfriend, which was all a force apparently. But yeah, that's how she describes herself as a parasite, feeding herself off random people, of people of interest, of strong people, because she doesn't want to suffer any more bullying. Which, I mean, I don't know if you can call that a bad thing, a bad personality trait, because yeah, I mean, she's basically using people in order to not get hurt, but at the same time, I mean, she is getting bullied a lot, so I mean, can you blame her? It is kind of here and there where you fall into the spectrum of morality of what she is doing. We basically see her interacting with other people with that mentality, with the mentality of not wanting to be hurt, of not wanting to be bullied. Although she does put a persona of a strong will, of an iron will person, because you don't actually see her normally be, nervous and really all that time in her back mind trying to not get bullied and things of that nature. You see her as a strong will person. And I mean, it is pretty interesting to see Ayanokouji's personality too. I mean, in the first season we learned a lot about his personality, about what he thinks, what he does, how he acts. But in this second season, and especially in this second episode, we learn much more about him, because although the episode doesn't actually focus on him, it focuses on Karuizawa, we see a lot of his personality develop and take into action when there are other people taking the spotlight. For example, when Karuizawa at the end of the episode is getting bullied, he's basically on face, he's basically observing, kind of like with no emotions, using and seeing people just as something that could be disposable. Like, I mean, at the end of the first season he does say that. So yeah, I mean, this second episode does confirm it. He sees people as something to be used in order to gain a certain goal, or in order to achieve a certain goal. And I don't know if he does that in order to assert or to achieve a certain goal, or if he does actually enjoy seeing other people be used and suffer. I don't think that's the case. I mean, I think he's simply at the moment a person that doesn't actually have that much feelings, and that is basically really observant and doesn't actually care what happens to people in order to achieve his final goal, which in this case, I mean, will be supposed to win or to achieve the most point for Class D, because he did promise Horikita to get her to Class A. I mean, so yeah, I mean, his goal at the moment is that getting Horikita and getting in general Class D into Class A, so he will do anything in order to achieve that. We also see that at the middle of the episode when he's talking to I forget her name, but the double personality girl, we see him on face when she leans into him. That is another demonstration of how faith he is into anything. He even says that, oh, that caught me by surprise. But I mean, he's totally on face and totally not serious about anything, or it should be the opposite. He's totally serious about anything that he seems to be unserious. So yeah, I mean, at the moment, the discussions with finding out who the VIP is in class, well, in the team, Mars isn't actually advancing into anything, because I think they are in their fourth discussion. The fourth discussion has ended out of 6, and they haven't even have any leads into who the VIP is. Karuizawa asked Ayanokouji if he is actually the leader of, or the VIP I should say. He responded that he's not the leader. I don't know if that has any deeper meaning into something else, but yeah, I mean, he apparently, we also learned that Karuizawa is a leader person, or basically wants to be a leader person, but cannot actually express that because she's always fearing being bullied. So yeah, I mean, maybe Ayanokouji will engineer something in order for her to take the spotlight and to act as a leader instead of just being the background character depending on other people. So I mean, and you see Ichinose taking the lead again and trying to, like I said already, trying to develop things into finding out who the VIP is, but with Class A not cooperating and with her not having actual a leader personality that much apparently, because she would already figure something out or at least advance a little bit, but she hasn't done anything of that. So yeah, I mean, she is struggling. I mean, she did wanted to take the role of being the one that guided everyone into having talks, but she is failing at the moment. So yeah, I don't know how Ayanokouji will handle that, if he will step in, or as always, if he will do things in the background without taking the spotlight. I mean, I think he will use Karuizawa as the spotlight this time, or maybe not. I mean, maybe he will take it, but yeah, I mean, we will see how that will develop in the future. But yeah, I mean, I think in the next episode we will see Karuizawa and Ayanokouji interact more, because I mean, the episode ended with him basically observing her getting bullied, and I mean, something will happen between those two, and definitely their relationship will develop more, because at the moment, I mean, they're just strangers, not interacting, not doing anything with each other, and just basically classmates, not even classmates, just like I said, strangers. Because yeah, I mean, I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why Karuizawa acts so not necessarily cold but indifferent to him. But yeah, I mean, maybe just that's her personality at the moment. Definitely in future episodes we will see them interact more, especially in the third, fourth episode, which I think will be where them two will actually develop their relationship into a whole nother level. So those are my general thoughts of the episode. With Classroom of the Elite, be it the second season or the first one, each episode you can talk about it for hours and hours, and to be honest, you could still have something left to say. And this second episode is not the exception. The third episode will not be the exception either. I mean, every episode will be like that, especially about Ayanokouji, about his personality. Definitely one of my favorite characters of all animes, because his personality is something really unique, in a sense that you don't really get to see characters like that are simply indifferent, calculative, that have you can kind of say no feelings, but that are not actually bad either, not evil I should say either. So yeah, I mean, he is a unique character in the world of anime at the moment, because in the future you can have a lot more characters like him in other animes. That is one of the aspects I like a lot of Classroom of the Elite, that our main protagonist is very badass, to be honest, and very unique and very awesome and very badass, simply badass. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if those are my general opinions of the episode. I'm probably forgetting a couple of things, because I mean, so much to talk about, so much to analyze. And as always, I always watch any episode of Classroom of the Elite a couple of times, because there is a lot of things to unpack with each episode, and just simply watching it one time doesn't actually do justice for the anime. I do my reviews just watching the anime one time, so yeah, that's why sometimes you might think that I'm forgetting a lot of things, or forgetting names, or forgetting this, but it is because in general I only watch it one time and then do the review, and then watch it a couple of more times in order for my next episode review, the third episode, to be a little bit more precise. So for example, this episode review, I do know a lot about the first episode, about how things develop and things of that nature. Why? Because I watched it a couple of more times. This second episode will be the same thing. I will have a better grasp of how things happen and how things develop when I do the episode review of the third episode. So yeah, if I'm forgetting a couple of important things, couple of other things that you thought are important, forgive me, but I will watch the episode a whole lot more of times. So yeah, but yeah, I think that will be everything for me. Let's see how Ayanokouji will handle Karuizawa, finding out the VIP, Horikita, although she doesn't seem to want his help. So yeah, I mean, let's see how observant and how manipulative Ayanokouji can get in order to get his way, in order to achieve his goals. So yeah, pretty interesting to see how he will achieve that. And I guess I'll see you in the third episode review of the anime.